I think we're live. Let's hope people can hear us. Yeah, I was listening to someone the other day. In fact, they were talking about using props and things like that during any sort of teaching, and it really does help out the person learning, which is absolutely fantastic. Have I lost Yann? He's back.
Yes, it
does. Good. That's a great start. Can everybody hear Yann?
For some reason our internet keeps stuttering, so one of us is freezing. I don't know who it is.
Well, if the stream
might be me.
Yeah, if the stream is fine, I'm going to blame you. It's fine.
Well, I've been having a lot of power cuts, and my computer has started to misbehave.
It's okay.
So,
keep a backup of everything, and we'll be fine. Okay? Yes. Oh, man. So we've had a lot on this week. It's been lots of fun in the background trying to get everything sorted. A quick public service announcement. I do apologise if I cough today. I just did a lateral flow test and I've come back positive, which isn't great, but I feel in good spirits at the moment. And yes, I've got a cough. So if I cough, I'll try and mute it.
Probably explain what a lateral flow test is.
It's the quick one you do. I'm going for a proper one tomorrow. So... which is a PCR test.
He means a COVID test.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got the lurgy.
He's been lurgied. So he seems fine. He seems asymptomatic, although he might cough.
I can't wear the mask during it won't fit.
That's weird.
I've got to wear that around the house now.
Have you?
Yes.
And hello, Roderick.
Unless everybody else tests positive, and then it's just a downward spiral. But anyway.
It's fine.
I've had lots of fun as well this week with animations. And I've worked on a script which gets all of the animations that you've downloaded from Miximo, in this particular case, and it converts them and puts them all on one rig for you. That script will be coming soon to Canopy Games, so everybody can use it. We found it incredibly useful.
Poor boy spent 4 days debugging this thing. Like, the amount of work this script took.
It's weird, though. At first, you may think, well, I could have just done the stuff manually, but it wouldn't have been very stimulating for my brain. That's one thing that I'm absolutely certain it would not have been, because it would have been click here, rename that to this thing, etc. So I thought, you know what, I'll just write a script to do this. And I delved into areas of Blender that I've never touched with Python before. So I ended up tweaking in the action editor, the NLA, and there's all sorts of things to do with context in Blender that I hadn't realized. So some of the functions that you call, you actually have to have the certain window on the screen. So if you've got like the 3D view up and you need the dope sheet up, well, you need to do that in code. Finally, I got there. So yeah, I'll be sharing that soon, and a little release video for it as well. I found it very useful.
We've got some stuff about animations to share.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I've been playing with behavior trees, and having very much a similar thing with Mikey. Like, the basic thing works, and there's this weird bug. I'll just explore this weird bug. This weird bug takes 4 days, leading to a complete epiphany of how this thing is put together, and I've misunderstood something fundamental.
Yeah.
Then I got the new animations from Mikey, and then we had to tweak them. Then I got the new animations from Mikey again. And I spent today, pretty much today, a little bit yesterday as well, starting the project from scratch, so tabula rasa, and just trying to make a tight movement system. And my goodness, the bugs I was getting today. Oh my goodness. But we have a pretty fun thing to show. We don't have weapons in here yet. We don't have... the dodge still needs some tweaking, but
the dodge is so cool. I can't wait to show you.
Start, Mikey.
Yeah, go on ahead. How am I going to do this? I just realized that I've put my streaming software on the same screen. So if I do this, I think that should switch it over. I'm just going to wait for Godot to appear on the screen, because I think that's what I've done. Yes, it works. Hurrah. Is that everything on the screen? Okay. It's only showing it on...
I see that half.
Yeah, we don't want half. We want... There's everybody for a second. There we go. Still haven't worked out that. Right, let's get playing. So we're in a new scene at the moment. If you'd like to explain what this scene is, Yann.
This is a basic movement scene, and I ended up having to put the checkerboard in just so I could get a really precise idea of how fast I'm moving at various points. It's a couple of things to jump on, and it's just a walk around, jump around, jump up, get down, jump, jump, jump. Everybody jump scene. So, Mikey, why don't you show us what we can do? We got the strafe, which is new. We got a walk.
I like this strafe. It's more like a jig.
It is.
And there's lots of tweaking to still be done with the curves and how far, we still haven't quite nailed the speed on the floor so we don't get this sliding effect. But that's a common thing. I was reading about it the other day with root motion. It's one of the things that's incredibly hard to get right if you are or are not using root motion. I can't remember which one. Let's go up here. Woohoo!
Yeah, it's very difficult. But it's what I want to get right, which is why I'm spending so much time doing this. This is why I did a whole tabula rasa wipe and just start the movement from scratch.
I've never heard
getting
that
the
word
jump
before.
to work took hours today. Yeah, it means clean slate.
Aha! I'm gonna
erase slate.
So I've been pressing the wrong key, expecting it to happen. It's this one here. So look at that. That's absolutely fantastic. Getting all these animations sorted and into the game I really love this one.
I've also completely reworked how the animations are put together now. So beforehand, we had an animation tree with all of the animations in. Now we have an animation tree state player with some blended animations and some not, which means a lot of the way that the animations go together had to be changed. But in fact, Mikey, I could talk you through where to look at that if you'd like.
Yeah, why not? This sounds like...
Why not? I think that's a fun thing.
Right, where am I going? I'm in the UI at the moment.
Okay, so if you go to the characters folder.
Characters.
And click on base character.
Base character.
And click on character.tscn.
So we're now in the character scene. Nice.
And now if you click on the animation tree.
Oh, this is oh, wow. Let's press the...
And now you can click on the expand to the bottom right. There we go. Okay, so what we have here...
Nice.
Yep. So what we have is we have three internal states within the state machine. So the idle state, if you click on the edit button, the little pencil,
boop, whoa,
is actually its own state machine. And when I put in arm or disarm, we'll be able to go from this loop of idle animations on the right here, which is a circular loop.
Yeah.
And it'll immediately go to pull out the axe and then go into that idle and stay there. You can click on root at the top left where it says path, root, and idle. You can see walk is actually something slightly different. So if we click on edit walk, this is not a state machine. This is a blend node. So we are blending whether or not we're strafing left or right live in code by accessing this parameter. So within the state machine, we have more state machines and more blend nodes. And it's just a much easier way of organizing it than having everything on one screen, which is what we had before.
Wow. That is...
Getting it to work led to all kinds of things, because you have to know exactly what is being called when, or things like dodge just doesn't happen.
I suppose, yes, you need to be aware of the fact that you shouldn't be able to dodge whilst in the middle of jumping, for instance.
But I'll show you what's really nice with this. If you click the expand window thing again.
Doop.
Yep. Okay. So watching your character, and then let's just redo this. Why don't we click on run dodge left, the little play button next to run dodge left. You see how it travels between the nodes automatically?
Yes.
And then you click on the play button by idle, and it'll do the same thing. So it knows, rather than just blend these, it knows I have to travel to this, follow the rules that get me there.
That's nice. Run dodge forward. This is the roll. Yep. Oh, that's fantastic.
And I have to actually repeat some of the animations, like the run dodge right and the walk dodge right are actually the same animation, but I've repeated them because I want the state machine to get there different ways. So if you're walking, I don't want you to go through run.
Yes, it would look silly if you were walking and suddenly your character, sped up to get there.
So the little white arrow is just go there instantly. The arrow with a line is go there at the end, and green means auto advance. In other words, if you dodge right, you'll go to that one immediately, and then at the end of that animation, you'll automatically go to the next state.
You'll come back again. So for instance here, run dodge forward, we're going to go there and automatically go back to run. But if we were walk dodge forward, would automatically go back to walk. Nice.
And what's really nice is this means if I tell you dodge twice, it won't do it if it's already dodging, because it'll have to travel from where it is to somewhere else, and it'll only do that at the end.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does mean that there's some things that are more tricky. Like I have the dodge moving faster than the walk.
Oh, yeah.
But now I can't put that in code because I'm not keeping track of which node I'm in code. I'm just saying travel to this. So I had to go into the animations and put in a track for an export variable saying dodge boost and just tell it at the animation where it is at each point.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I'm quite proud of that. Hello, Daniel. Hello, New Gaming Chair. I hope everybody is well. Poor Mikey is
I'm COVIDed.
well, but COVIDed. He's tested positive, although he seems to be asymptomatic. So we're hoping it's a false positive.
I've got a bit of a cough.
That's
So I felt quite blah the other day.
Like blah. I'm hoping that that's all the symptoms you get, because after my vaccine, just the COVID symptoms from the vaccine floored me for 2 days.
That ended up being a bit weird. That's me. I'm doing.
Yes, so
I've got an excuse here. That is that. There we go. I'm back again.
you are back again. So that's one of the things. That's what I've been working on for the last day and a half. And it was a lot. It was really annoying because I had something that was okay, but it didn't quite work. Like the jump felt a bit floaty, and I wanted the jump forward to be faster than the run. Like it was a leaping animation, so you should leap. So I put those in, and suddenly no movement worked for 3 hours, and I couldn't figure out why. So that was annoying. But the rest of the week, I've been playing with behavior trees. Mikey, can I show behavior trees?
I can, yeah, I can show behavior trees. I've got to push buttons now.
Wait, do you want to open the other repo? Oh, good boot. Oh, you okay?
The other repo. Yeah, bear with me a moment, and I'll have a look at that.
Oh no, wait, I haven't pushed it.
You better
wait
push it.
1 minute. Yeah, I'm doing it.
We're totally prepared. It's fine. This is all part of the fun of live streaming. It would be boring if everything went well.
Wait, this is the wrong one. Oh no! Help! I don't know how to use anything. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I've got it here. I'm ready to pull.
I haven't pushed it yet. Staging. So I'm not good at pushing my repos.
Push the repo. Push the repo. Is that how it goes?
It's quite a big thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it might take a while to go.
I was C+ in February, and even though I was more tired than usual, it was just harder cold for me. Yeah. I had my first COVID vaccine a few weeks back, and I was fine. Like I didn't have a reaction to the vaccine. But about 8 hours later, I got a fever and started shaking so hard I couldn't brush my teeth or get to the bedroom. Like I thought I was dying, which was just annoying, frankly. And it took me about 2 days to get back. So, yeah. Mikey, I pushed it.
I've got to pull it now. I miss having my third screen. I really do. Oh, I like your commit name.
Yep.
So let's pull that.
What's my commit name, Mikey?
Pushed it. Okay, that's
frozen.
That's pulled. Brilliant. Right, let's go to Godot and open that up, and then I share screen.
And if you do the same thing as before, I can see your screen on Discord live, and it'd be easier.
One thing at a time.
Or I could just do it on my side and talk you through it.
There we go. What did I do before? I just shared my screen directly to you, didn't I?
Yep.
Which is another window. So if I share screen. Okay.
There it is. Okay, cool. And then I press this. All right. So, Mikey, on the file system, under search files, do a search for
Hold
castle.
on.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's the chat, you see. It's part of... So where's main screen? There we go. So now everything's being shown. Perfect.
Okay, so on the file system, under search files, type in castle.
Castle. Oh, we've got a castle.
Well, that was when I originally named this scene, and I regretted it more every time I tried to open it. I'm now a bit sick of this joke, but open that scene.
Castle, but there's no castle.
Castle Dungeon Tiles Test Thing short name. Okay, now in this scene, you will find a penguin.
There he is. Hello.
Okay, there is your penguin. This penguin is running off a behavior tree. If you get within range, he'll turn and follow you. If you get out of range, he'll go back home. Would you like to test this?
Yes.
Don't use that play button, use the other play button. Oh, well, never mind. Now you have to go back into the dungeon.
That's okay. I can click buttons. Boop. In fact, I will play from here just in case there's anybody new watching. They get to see the world that we're in at the moment. So we've got stamina. We've got a lovely house, some roses. Now
It's the old movement system.
It's the old movement system. Yep. And of course, I can't keep running. I need to be wary of my stamina.
You actually have more stamina downstairs because I got bored of that problem.
Dungeon perk. It's fine. Lovely. So we're walking along and we've got our penguin.
And his range is currently set to 5 meters.
Which is about there.
Oh, it's not working. Well, that's fine. I'll just show you the behavior tree. He was working. He's broken.
Why are you not working?
The penguin was meant to be a toucan, but I'm not very good at them. So I'll just show you what we did instead. So if you click on the scene for AI test agent.
Yep. Which one's that? This
A
one.
little clapperboard thing.
Yep.
Great. Okay, so scroll down in the scene tree. And you see we have behavior tree.
We do.
Okay. So the way it's organized is you have a basic flow control, which in this case is behavior selector. And what this will do is it will go through each of its child nodes in order, and it will stop the moment one succeeds and then goes back to the beginning. And if no one succeeds, it'll just fail. So the first thing it's going to do is, do I have a home state? That next one is a sequence. You must do all of these in order. If not, return the whole thing as failed.
Okay.
So we're checking. There's a behavior state inverter and a home state. So what you need to do is you create nodes that can be reused again and again and again. Right. The last thing you want is a whole bunch of custom nodes. So each of these nodes is one that can be reused, and I've just renamed. So on home state, for example, this is just a script that checks, does this target key exist? And I've got my target key and I've typed in home. So it now saves home to the blackboard, which is the memory for this state. Then you notice the node above it is a behavior inverter. So if home is set, return true, but the behavior inverter says return true as false and false as true. So we're now checking, is there no home set? If that's true, set home, right? And then that's done. So at the beginning of the game, we're just going to set home state at wherever it is. And we just go through like that. And trying to break down your ideas into very small, discrete chunks that are well named means that you can look at the scene tree and, well, Mikey, tell me what the rest of the scene tree does.
If it detects the player, it will do stuff in here. If there is no player, then it can't move to player. It can't, so it returns home. So it will go back to where it was before if you run out of range, I suppose.
And it should never vanish. That's my debug. If the thing suddenly disappears, I know something is horribly wrong with my tree.
Got it.
So the idea here is playing with these things to make it a more modular AI. This is a very simple one, but it was just me sort of playing with everything that I could just to really nail down where all the weird behavior things are. One of the biggest things that tripped me up was setting a variable to something in the blackboard, in the memory.
Yep.
And then it wouldn't actually change the memory. And it was because you have to then write it to the blackboard. You can't just set the new variable to something new, because that's not the same thing as the one that, I forgot about Goddo's instancing for a moment.
Gotcha. Right. I'm going to switch this back to talking heads, which will be half. Yeah, I'll still have that on screen. Bear with me a second. Need to make it you, and then you will appear. There we go.
Ooh.
Magic. Yeah, could definitely do with another
Moments.
monster. So, oh, that's a nice freeze because
You can also stop sharing your screen on Discord to save bandwidth.
it'd be fine.
Okay.
That involves moving you around again. Not going to do that. It's fine. Yeah, so there's been quite a bit of progression this week. We're quite looking forward to this next coming week. There's going to be lots to go through. Whilst we're here, I posted a link in the Discord earlier. Some people may not have seen it in the announcements. It was about the Kickstarter page. Now, we don't actually have a Kickstarter page up and running yet. We're in the process of putting it together. And because we haven't done that, we can't send you to the actual Kickstarter. However, if you go to here and want to know the moment it launches, etc., then when you go to that, there is a button at the top, and you can click on it, and it just says follow. Big square box. So it's Canopy Games, and underneath, follow. Nice and straightforward. Although, I did get a message earlier, someone saying that they were confused because there was nothing there. So that's as clear as I can make it. Push the follow button. There will be something there soon. There we go.
We can't actually tell you to back a Kickstarter we haven't made yet, because Kickstarter isn't happy about that. I mean, we've started the page, but we haven't published anything.
Yeah. We want to make sure everything's in place, and we've got a few more assets to move in there. I'd like to show off my script that I wrote.
I want you to show off your script. So Mikey made a thing where you can take a whole bunch of animations. In this case, the test animations from Miximo, which is what we're using as placeholders.
Yeah.
And Mikey found a lot of them, something like 40 something.
Quite a few.
Then wanted to get them all in an armature, but we have a major problem, and the major problem is we need the scale of everything on the armature to be 1.
I'll show this
0.01.
It's interesting, and I've seen this issue before when dealing with FBXs, because when you import them, they're often at a slightly different scale.
Hey, Pagosh, I'm glad you found us.
Hey, hello. I need to be in the right folder, so bear with me a moment while I find it.
So yeah, I'll tell you about the problem here. So in Godot, I can use a bone attachment, which is a way of attaching something to a bone, right? So I can put something in the right hand and say the axe goes here. But inheritance means that if the scale of the parent is set to 0.01 on all axes, the axe is 1% the size. And then if you try and scale it up, the collision breaks. So Mikey had to fix the armature for every single point and every animation.
Yeah, that was the big problem. Every single one. And the problem is, as soon as Yann would have said, and he did say a few times, "Oh, can I have a few more idle animations?" I'm like, this has got to be a script. Yes, I'm going to spend, it turned out, 4 days playing with the code, but as I say, I'll be releasing this soon so people can play with it themselves. So the basic way that it works is you have a folder called animations, and then you save, and that will be in a certain folder structure like this. Excuse me. So you'd have Blender. You'd open it up. You'd save your blend file that you were working in that folder. So if we went into it, RPG archive. Nope, we want to go up a level. So we've got our animations folder there, and we could call it Untitled. I'm going to call it Live Stream because it's going to go wrong at some point. Okay, so once you've done that, one of the cautions with the script is to make sure nothing else goes wrong. It will actually clear everything out of your scene, so don't import it in there. Let's go ahead and open up a script. Where is repos? Of course, repos I can't find. There it is. Nope, I've gone into the RPG one. So where is it? Miximo import script. Here we go. So I've got a lovely script here that will go through, and it does several things. But basically, it does everything for me. So in this particular case, you can see the scene is just a default scene. We've got, how many was it down here? We've got 62 animations. So that's going to take a few moments to sort out, but we just click play. Because our blend file is stored in the right location, it just goes through. We'll get the typical not responding as it works through the process. I did think it had hung several times because I'd only been testing it with 1, 2, sort of 4 animations, mainly because I didn't want to wait all this time. And I didn't realize quite how long it took. But yes, once we're done, we'll end up with, here we go. It is done. We've now got 1 armature in our scene with 1 mesh, as you can see here. And it's all linked together. But even better than that, all of our animations, if we go to the NLA editor, or the nonlinear animation, go slower, Mike. There we go.
You can get there.
Yes. They're all named... I didn't change the script and commit it. I didn't commit the script. So these won't have FBX on the end. That was just me and my naming. Those should be lowercase, because when you're dealing with script, things have to be literal. So when I'm removing the suffix FBX, well, that needs to be an FBX if it's capital. Anyway, the reason why this works, of course, is because Windows doesn't care about capitalization, although that should also be the same if I want to publish it to Linux. So 2 things I've got to change there. And so this will import into Godot, which I could actually do now. When we import it into Godot, I better save it first. So let's go ahead and export it as a GLTF, and we'll call it live stream. Why not? There we go.
And just to agree with you, Gaming Chair, yes, GLTF is better than FBX. I quite agree.
The FBX is really buggy in Godot at the moment. It can come across so wrong. I'm going to remove these other base characters, which I've obviously been testing with. And then we go and grab our file that we've just saved, which, of course, I didn't pay attention to where I was saving it. Oh, it's still exporting. Again, because
it's a big file.
Yeah, it's not too big, but it's got lots of data in it. I think it's about 13 or so megabytes in size, which is a little bit big.
For an animation file, that's not bad.
Not bad at all. So yeah, once that's ready,
while
we
he's
can
doing that, I'll
import it
just
over.
talk about the idea here. The idea is we want to have a single rig that works with the majority of our PCs and NPCs in this and in future games. And then when Mikey needs to bring in more animations, it'll still work with that rig. So it's trying to keep things as consistent as possible, not have things like different naming conventions, different armature scales, different bone names.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're aiming for here.
The other thing here, of course, is we're using Miximo at the moment as a way of showing you how you can go to a site with loads of pre-made animations and import them into your game so you can use them. If we get to the right level of stretch goal, we'll actually be making those animations ourselves, because it will become very apparent, much like most things, if you are... Whilst it's doing that, I'm going to put talking heads back. No.
Well, I will point out, we can't distribute the Miximo animations.
Oh, no, we can't distribute it either. We can give you a file that you can use, but we can't actually distribute the animations as they are. That's part of the licensing. But what I was going to say is the same as if you use Miximo, you can tell on a lot of the Blender places, whether it's Facebook or another one, you can tell when someone's found out how to do a Miximo animation because it's the same couple of dancers and you recognize them. They're all motion captured data, which is awesome. So it's great being able to bring it into your game really, really quickly. I think that's just finished exporting. It has, so I'm going to switch back over with the right button. So we've got our live stream GLTF. Oh, this one's 16 megs. Don't know why it's larger than the one I gave you the other day. We want to be in Godot. Drop it into our scene. Let's go ahead and open it up. Yeah, open anyway. So now we've got our character here with the animation player. And unfortunately, none of the loops will work because of...
put FBX on the end. But I can tell you how to loop them if you'd like.
Oh, it's this. Oh, no. Some of them have worked.
Some of them will work, some won't.
Yeah. Yes. So we've got a little loop icon just here in the top corner, hidden out the way. But there we go. We've got all of these available and ready, and that's such a time saver. So I hope people make the best out of this script, because it's saved so much time being able to do that and having
also
them all
like
there.
going through all like 10 animations and having to fix every key of every animation once, that's a day's work. But then every time you have to change anything or add a new animation or tweak anything, then you have to do the whole thing over again. So you really need that batched and automated.
Yeah, I can't impress upon people how if you're not into coding, that's cool, but even if you're not, it's not very difficult to work out how to do that. I mean, I bashed my way through that with brute force rather than intelligence. There was some intelligence in there, but because I'd done some of that before, but I was touching areas of Blender that I had basically never touched before. I don't know how to access the NLA editor in Python code.
You know what occurs to me? We should show people, especially so I don't think Paco's actually seen it. We should show people the previous repo with the weapons.
The previous repo with the weapons, yes.
The sandbox, not the prototype.
The
You can just go to project.
Oh yes, I know the one. Yeah.
And quit to project list.
Yep.
Boopity boop.
And I'll switch the screen over as well. So RPG Sandbox. And then we've got...
So again, this is the old movement system, the old animations.
Yeah, we'll show the new animations in a moment.
Yep. But you do get to see the world we're creating, which is quite nice. It's a whole new world.
I'm not going to do it.
No.
I can't not do it. So we've got our little character here. He doesn't have any of the fancy features that we've added in the latest version. So this, we can equip an axe. That is very satisfying. Can we still die?
Yes, but I've removed the damage, so no.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. We could die. That would activate.
You can do heavy
animation.
attacks with right click.
That is very, very
And
satisfying.
of course, your attacks are draining your stamina. So sprinting, later dodging, jumping, and attacks are all going to drain your stamina. And once your stamina is completely drained, you'll be exhausted and have to wait for the bar to recharge before you could do anything that uses stamina again. So we want we want the game to be about a lot of positioning and strategic thinking, not strategic, tactical thinking.
Yeah, your stamina is an asset that you're going to use, and if you run out of it during battle, it's just something to manage. We don't want it to be over the top. We don't want it to be a thing that's going to really
Mikey,
cause you. Yes.
Hit your axe. Hit the table.
That would be very, very. I've done it. Missed.
Oh, Mikey.
Did you turn?
So what are these?
I think it's collisions are turned off on this version.
I don't think they are, but they may be. It might just be that the table is just out of the range.
It's possible.
Other things we worked on, although you'll have seen it if you were here last week, the inventory system now works, so Mikey can go over to the shelf and pick up those potions. Right now, it's very press, escape, and drag things. Like you can't look at things in the world and do it.
But you can nab everything as so, and then come over here and drop them all.
Yeah, the big chunky aesthetic does feel very much like WoW, which is interesting because although I do love good MMOs, I bounced off World of Warcraft very hard. Like it just didn't appeal to me, but I like this aesthetic. I'm glad people are seeing World of Warcraft rather than Torchlight. Torchlight is fine, but we really didn't find any reason to play it a second day.
Yeah, so Yann and I sat down with Torchlight as an example of a more action RPG, and no, I didn't.
Okay, so Mikey, what are we looking at here?
We are looking at the latest prototype.
So this is my tabula rasa, which is my clean slate. So with the new animations that Mikey gave me yesterday, I've started a brand new project, all new code, new camera, new collisions, everything, just to try and like start from scratch. And the idea is to make the movement system as tight and responsive as possible. If we want that kind of fast-paced action game, you need to know exactly how your character is going to behave when you press it. It's going to be predictable, it's going to feel fluid, and you've got to feel, well, like a badass, really. I do love the dodging.
I
We
wonder
don't
if
have weapons in this one yet. We don't
No.
have effects in this one yet. Jump is in. Getting gravity and jump to work was a pain. Linear interpolate and movement solves problems and causes a bunch of others. Like you didn't jump in time.
I know.
I am considering adding coyote time, but it's not a platform game, so maybe I won't bother.
Coyote time. Oh, where you hang in the air for just a little bit longer.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, can I dive from one area to another?
I don't know. I don't think so.
We'll have to have a jumping dive animation then. Ow, that would really hurt.
I mean,
I really
the
like
jump and the dive both make you go faster. I've actually made it so that when you jump, you accelerate because it's a leap animation. You can actually see it if you look down at the checkerboards. I want you to be going slightly faster. But you have to be moving forward when you jump, otherwise it doesn't count.
well, that.
And the same with the dodge. But that's built into the animation because I'm controlling everything here with a state machine. So we can't easily manipulate values in code if we're not keeping track of what part of the state machine we're in. But yeah, it's starting to feel fluid. It's starting to feel really responsive.
I really like just rolling around the place.
Yeah, it's really satisfying. I did start putting together for controller. It's not done yet. Not least of which because I realized I haven't put the camera controls on the controller, and that's kind of how the entire thing is steered.
And you need to work out really with when you've got this many animations that you're combining. Like for instance, if you're going to run and tap in this case V to roll, that could be X or something on a controller. But if you're strafing and then you tap, I mean, it actually the control system makes far more sense for a controller than the keyboard.
It does, but the camera doesn't. So I have to put the camera on the right stick and make it responsive. And
Yeah.
I just haven't put that in yet. One of the nice things about this system is originally I had it in code so that when you press the boost, press dodge, it would boost your speed and then interpolate it down. And that meant you could just keep spamming the button and go faster and faster and faster. But you can't do that now, Mikey.
Why not? That's not fair.
Try it.
Try what? Sorry? It's spamming which button?
It's spamming dodge.
Oh, I was doing that earlier. That's why he kept.
Okay.
That you were showing earlier on the behavior tree. It has to go back via. Although it'd be quite nice to dodge.
That's a separate mechanic. We can put that in. But if you want to, you can. Hang on. You're sharing the screen of me. If you want to, we could show the actual animation state player again.
Yes. Okay. Let me go into. Let me close the game down, and then go to the screen. So that was over in. Was that in the characters, base character scene? Here we go, in the animation tree. So yes, this is what's behind the scene, making it all work really well.
And so all that's happening is when we're doing something, and we can actually look at the code if we want, it's just saying travel to this node.
So we can go.
So if we want to, for instance, do a, if we're at idle and we want to do sprint dodge or run dodge, it'll have to travel that path.
Yes.
And you can't keep spamming dodge because it'll have to go back to walk to travel back there. So you have to wait for the animation to finish, which solves a bunch of problems.
Yes.
Just getting the map of the animations like this took a bit of tweaking because you need to have a very clear mental map of what you want to happen before you start doing any of this.
And of course, the idle animation itself has got lots of different variations on it.
Press play on standing idle.
Oh, sorry.
Go back to the way it was. Yep.
Ooh, missed it.
Don't rename it.
None of these play buttons.
Press play on axe standing idle. No, it's an automatic loop, but press axe standing idle.
Got there. Nope.
Press play. Oh, you know why? It's because you've left it in running in the other state.
Okay. Let's go back to idle. There we go. So this is this a state machine inside a state machine?
So you've got exactly what it is. So we've got the idles all working in a loop, and then at any point you can interrupt them. But if you want to go to axe standing idle, so if you equip a weapon, you have to go through equip first. And if you want to then go to the disarm animation or any of the idols, it'll automatically put you back in that loop.
This is really good as well because the board assumes that the player has not been touched in a while. That's when it's going to play the board animation. So it's having to go through here, through this one, and only then will it play the board animation, which is...
So basically, you have to leave it alone for 90 seconds, which is unlikely. Paco, you raised an interesting point about enemy lock. However, we're not using lock in this game currently. The weapon is going to have collision on its arc. So if there's anything in that arc when you do it, everything in that arc will take damage if it can. So that's what we're hoping.
That's a much cleaner way of doing it for us, is the easiest way of saying that, isn't it?
We believe. I mean, subject to change, obviously. So yeah, it's been a fruitful week of new animation scripts and behavior trees, and I'm a little annoyed the behavior tree didn't work. I did have a creepy demo of a penguin, and new motion states and animation states, and yeah.
Well, we do have a great example of that because on the YouTube channel itself, there's actually one that you shared of the penguin turning round that you timed incredibly well with water. I don't think I've got sound coming through properly at the moment. Oh, I know what it is. I think I need to test that I don't break sound at this point on my computer. But yes, I believe I can do that if I switch this over to there. Hey, Windows chime. I'll go find it.
So this was before I got the penguin to start following and go back home when you're out of range. It was literally just me playing with behavioral trees and working with player detection. Like the very first step. I thought, what's a good way I could do that? Well, I've got my basic capsule that I was bored with.
Yeah.
So we'll just use that. So Mikey, take it away.
Awesome.
I'm proud of that. Oh, that's us right now.
It is. Fancy that. The next thing it recommends is
is that you watch the stream we're watching.
Nice. Or the next thing it recommends that I watch anyway. Who knows how the algorithm's working in the background. Yes, we've got a lot planned over the coming week. I wrote down some ideas earlier. I think the next thing we're going to focus on is the actual character itself. We've got our base mesh here, and we played with the animations. Animations were definitely more important at the moment than how the character physically looks. Now we've got a good-looking character. It's time to make them even prettier. And then onto assets.
Doing that, really... I'm going to tweak the control system. Do things like make sure you can't change direction while dodging, because it's weird.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing all the sorts of little tweaks you need once you put another animation in and you're like, oh, what about this condition?
Then I'm going to bring back the weapon system and then the stamina and health.
Yeah.
And then I can start playing with the prototype levels and bringing in enemy AI and enemy attacks and bringing in the magic system, because Mikey's got some magic animations, and the two-handed weapon animations. And I mean, at this point, we start getting into vertical slice territory.
Yes. Putting together
the items and
putting together a really pretty, well, it already is quite pretty, but making it a real nice vertical slice. And enemies, that's probably on the radar in the next couple of weeks as well, making sure we've got someone to beat up and get their loot.
I mean, I did think of I know something we didn't show. We don't have this currently in the current version, but in the previous version.
Oh,
the F key.
The F key. Oh, floppy. Yes.
I don't know if we'll keep this. There is currently a bug in Godot where using this spams the thing with errors for no reason.
previous version, and I've gone and opened up the current one. Hold on a moment, guys. Hold on. I'm a genius, and it's okay.
I mean,
I'm gonna click the
I'm
right
already
one.
in 2D motion with the mouse, so it should be doable. It's just getting the feel and the smoothness right.
Oh, the other thing, and I'm making no promises here, but I have been working on a bit of music in the background as well, and I think that
You
will
indeed.
help bring it all together.
Is it lots of tubas?
Hmm? Maybe. Anyway, and so what were we demonstrating here? Oh, it was amazing. So the other day, I was having a chat with Yann, and we were just playing through this level, and I left myself by the stream. And I ended up being quite relaxed after the chat, and I realised that it was probably because there was water in the background. Oh, I forgot about nighttime.
Yep.
Ah!
Oh yeah, there's no.
I'm hiding. Where's Mikey?
Yeah, there's
There he
no
is.
jump in this version. Space. Space changes the thing.
Ooh. And
I was
wee.
also playing with how to get particles to follow a mesh, which looks good but isn't scalable because I can't get the mesh details as an emission point at runtime. It's not exposed to code. You have to do it in the editor, which means I'd have to do it for every object, which defeats the point of having Fire as a plugin node.
Look at that. That's cut. I know it's just a post-processing effect, but I do like some God rays. Could even
That's
have
part of what we'll be teaching, right? Is how to get an environment that really works. Because this is all about the lighting, the shadows, and the color choice.
And I presume if we put some clouds moving, it would just do the same thing. Sun disappearing behind clouds. I like that.
So.
It takes to affect the alpha on the tree. That's awesome.
The big thing that made this scene really pop for me is the shadows aren't black.
Real shadows aren't black.
It made such a difference. Yeah, it made such a difference. It really did. Keeping everything in the color palette also really helped, including the light and the sky and everything else. Like, there's nothing out of palette in this scene.
I'm gonna do it. Whee! Oh, he went off that way.
Do it.
Oh, he always goes off in a certain direction, doesn't he?
He does in this version, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we keep the ragdoll, but it was fun to put in.
Yes.
Like, it might be fun with big explosions as well.
It was more of a ragdoll test more than anything else. There's obviously some if we did implement something like this, there's some extra bone constraints to go in because, yeah, it goes a tad bit floppy.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tweaking.
But yeah, again,
And,
proof of concept, really.
More of these you have in the scene that will slow down.
Yeah, definitely something to consider.
Plus, you can throw yourself into the water, which is fun.
Whee! Splodge. Oh, one thing we haven't done this week. Where's that barrel? Here comes that barrel. 3, 2, 1.
Barrels are not heavy. It's not going to float. I'm sorry.
No, but I've yeeted it. That's a yeet.
You have yeeted it. Do you want to turn the fire on the axe?
I forgot about that.
Okay, to do that, you're going to have to go into the editor. So close this.
Oh, editor. Mikey code.
And you're going to have to edit the player. He's at the top.
Okay.
First thing in the scene tree.
Yep.
So just click on the open scene. Yep. And then do the same thing again for RPG player. Click on the open scene.
Oh, we're delving deep.
Because the instance is from character. And then you're going to scroll down to where you see the axe. And then you're just going to unhide that. There you go. It'll work now.
I don't need to unhide the fire?
Oh, yeah, you should bring the fire in. You should hide the axe and unhide the fire. I'm sorry. Hide the axe. There we go. There we go. Now try it.
So, to make this a bit more dramatic, I think I will... Yeah, let's change it to night. Oh, I missed the full screen. I'm a genius. Here we go. Nighttime. How cool is that?
What's nice here is that the particles are actually following the mesh.
I think it's awesome that, the world's being lit up by it as well. Who needs a torch when you can
You're
have...
right, Pagosh. If we wanted to make this more realistic, we should absolutely add some more light. It's very one-dimensional right now. I was going more for a stylized painted look, hence the textures. But yes, that is something that we would have to do.
Yeah, it definitely looks
You can
better
also
at
use
night.
that as a torch in the downstairs.
Yes. Wait.
I'm a bit proud of this fire particle as well. So if you go into Bob's room, which is directly ahead,
Hello, Bob. Do they still have the randomness to them?
yep. If you watch them, one of them will blink every now and again randomly.
I love that. Shiny.
Someone did tell me it's looking a little too shiny for them. I responded with a picture of "I'd rather be shiny" from Moana, and the question, can it ever be too shiny? Other fun things, if you go to the next room through the closed door, the green light on the cauldron is always fun.
Let's put my axe away. Oh, wait. I pulled it out again. I like that. Oh, you could quite easily make a scene whereas you're walking past, or perhaps some NPCs are walking past a low light.
Yep.
Nice.
It's a fun little environment. I mean, it's amazing what you could do with some coloured light and a little fog.
Yeah,
And
we're going to be
a gold
adding to the asset packs as
the
well.
chest, the chest.
The chest. Oh, I'm usually more angelic when I sing that. Oof.
Ah! He's COVID-y. You have to leave him alone.
Very true. I do like this skull.
Yeah.
It's one of my more finer sculpts. I just grabbed the hook tool and completely mashed
Played
it.
with it.
Yeah.
I like the little skulls. They're very cute. It's entirely a particle, that fire.
Which is pretty awesome. And obviously there is a light source. I presume it's following the axe head.
Yeah, it's a child of the axe head.
Yeah.
But I disabled the shadows on it because it really made the whole thing much less pleasant.
Yes.
It turns out shadows flicking wildly every time you move is actually really off-putting, even though it's more realistic.
Yeah.
Realism is not the key goal.
Yeah, I mean, it works in certain genres. If you were making, if you wanted it to be more disjointed, as in like a horror, then sure, having long shadows.
Actually, not so much that. It's the movements are so fast that the shadows don't really resolve. They just flick, and it's just off-putting. Are you just knocking down all the lids?
Well, I'm just checking to see whether or not you've included an Easter egg, and in all these weeks, I've not seen it. Genuinely,
I think you're just committing a little like vandalism.
hello. What's going on here? There. Well, yeah, might have hidden me a present. He hasn't. I'm sad.
I haven't, no.
Oh, do you reckon?
I mean, I did hide you a present in the little red swimming pool by the drawbridge.
Yes.
Which is back through the door you just ran away from.
Oh, did you? I'm gonna. Sorry, I'll store them in there for later. Which one?
By the drawbridge.
Oh, have you put a ladder in?
No, I've just put a nice hole that you can sit in and never come out of.
So where's the nice present? Where is it?
In the hole.
I've got to go down here.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
There's no present.
Oh. Woof. Oh, spooky. Is that
He is
part of the
very
God
spooky.
Rays as well? That one there.
Yep.
Nice.
It's a nice plugin. And the Proton Trails plugin that follows the axe when you do it is a lot of fun too.
And I'm back again.
So we are now coming up to the hour. So if people have questions, comments, thoughts, comments, solutions, jingles, yodels, stories about how wonderful we are. The idea is we want to launch the Kickstarter proper in the first week of August, and we want to get as much of a vertical slice down as possible so people can really see what they'll be learning.
Yeah.
At the basic tier, we're looking at, we can share the Trello board if we want to.
Yeah, I was just
we're
getting
looking
that
at
now.
The core experience, right? So just the movement system, the character system, the creation, the putting together the assets, the basic. Here's the package. But we'd like to get this as polished as we can. And we think this is a big enough project that it's actually going to take months of our time just to get the prototype course ready before we start recording anything.
Yeah, there's loads to cover here. So just to explain the Trello board, if you were around last week, you might have seen it already. So we've got some ideas. This is like 90% what we want to do. And we're going to start with the Action Adventure Begins. At the moment, the plan is for 3 courses, again, just like Godot Getaway, where we've got a core experience when it comes to coding up everything, and we've got a series of asset packs in there as well, and a music course on top of that as well. And then at a certain stretch goal, we need to work all of this out. We have these extra points to keep things driving and going forward.
Yep. Now, you didn't share your screen with any of that, so it's a bit abstract. But the idea being that the asset packs that we release will just be assets you could use.
I'm going to put it on here now. So there we go. Yeah. So yes. So the Action Adventure Begins. That's everything that we want to include at the base as a minimum, and then everything else is all building upon where we were before, with more assets, more courses. Whether or not it's just there's.
I mean, the one I'm really excited about. Go on.
I was going to say that weapon switching and inheritance and classes, just as an example here, may actually end up being one course. So these aren't all separate courses. These are all sort of ideas and things to cover. And
the idea being, if you decide you're going to back for instance, you just back just to get the Godot course, every stretch goal we hit, you get those Godot courses. We're not going to do some weird system whereby, you didn't buy this expansion, so you can't have it. Like, let's make it easy. The one I'm really excited about is procedural generation and roguelite Mark, where we could try and we turn this into a roguelite game. With lots of procedure-generated characters and dungeons and loot and other fun things, with some level of persistence in there. So your game experience keeps leveling up, but your actual moment-to-moment play is run until you get defeated.
Yes, and that's only at the 4th level in, so that's not bad at all.
Yep. So we're really excited about this, and we think it's a really fun project, and we hope you guys are too. So questions, comments, thoughts, jingles, stories about trees. I was looking at a tree.
I've got lots of trees. They're all protected as well, apart from 2 of them.
Are they?
Yeah. Cool story, bro.
It's a good story.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been.
I got on the camera. It's very rude of me.
It's fine. So yes, if you do have any questions, do shout out. If you're not already on our Discord, come over and join us there. I shall just type that in.
You should do that. Color coding, good question. Red is asset pack. That is a pack of assets we give you. So for instance, if we get to character creation, you get rigged and animated characters pack. So you get a bunch of characters with rigging and animations specially made, yours to use in your Godot games. Much like our dungeon asset packs, the idea is all of these will be designed and optimized for Godot. So you just drop them in your project and they will just work. Blue is Godot. Green is general game design. Orange is Blender, and purple is outside instructor. And there is no black code.
No, there's not. So, yeah, Paul is on board for doing concept art as well, which is pretty awesome. So expect that to be featured. I haven't actually added it to the Trello board yet. I spoke to him the other day, and he's excited about focusing on concept art for environments, concept art for the world, not just environments. We've got dungeons, we've got the overworld, characters as well. That was the other one that we were talking about in great detail. Getting that concept art down doesn't have to be difficult. It can just start off with some basic shapes. So we're hopefully going to be covering lots on that front as well.
I did not realize that by default, Trello hid those color codes. Yeah, if you click on them, as Roderick says, you'll be able to see them. Thank you, Roderick.
Nice.
So yeah, I am, well, I'm brain fried. I've been coding since this morning, except for the bit where I was teaching kids in a very loud setting.
I can feel my
the parents.
I can feel my throat drying as well.
Drilled next to the computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
why
this
would
is
you
a good
do
place
that? That's
to end it this
crazy.
week.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, folks, thank you for coming.
Thank you. And we will see you this time next week. And we'll have more to show.
And we hope you're as excited as we are. Spread the word if you feel like it. Don't forget to follow us on Kickstarter so you can see when the thing's live.
Yep.
And yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
The best sign-off ever. I'm so good at these.
Bye-bye.
Press it.
I pressed it.